It is time, I say, to break out of the cage. Do you feel stuck ever? Do you feel trapped in a cycle of any kind? I say fasting is the type of space that can help you gently and powerfully over time break out. And that is where I would like to lean in with you today. If you feel stuck in a space, if you've been stuck in a space, feel free to share. What has that been like? What was that space? Do you have a way that you found helpful? Was it a fasting space? Was it something else? Fasting space, this program, I want to be a space where we collect every good and beautiful process of health that can help us move forward. Fasting space in the body, space where we're opening up a powerful metabolic space. People do that for many different reasons. The most obvious, or the first one that comes to most people, say this is a space where we can lose weight, and this is a big focus that I have. When we open up fasting space in the body, say the body doesn't stop running, thank goodness. Body has energy resources, and a fasting space in the body allows us to tap into that. That's like step one on fasting. Heart is beating, right? Lungs are moving. Brain is always working. That requires energy all the time. And we've spent sessions, we can do more of it. Dive in. What's happening in the metabolism? Is it the case, as it is, that it can slow down and speed up? Is dynamic, something that is so misunderstood, I would say, in our modern moment. Some people told, oh, you are just genetically defective. You have a slow metabolism, like it can never change. Oh man, but we can impact it. Fasting can impact it in multiple ways. So many different metabolic reasons someone might practice fasting. Easiest to do, honestly, easiest to do. If you got some extra weight, it's like you got open space. You have energy to work with. This is what I want people to see. Fasting, empowering process, energy that we can use for some purpose, like breaking out. Okay. If you want to burn up blood sugar, lower blood pressure, improve the metabolic system. What happens? Fasting I call maintenance mode. Okay, for the body. You're going to run maintenance mode for a while, Just take care of some things. Fasting I also call healing space, because it's the space where the body can stop doing so many of the other tasks that we're doing and just have some time to take care of itself. That's why so many things in the body can be improved when we open up a fasting space. But then it goes beyond that. Fasting sitting at the intersection, body and mind. I try to get my mind around body, mind, spirit. It's even, to be honest, it's hard for me to say. What is it? Who is it? How does that work? I don't know. But if you look around the world and you ask people, do you fast and why? The number one reason you will get is for spiritual reasons. Connecting to something bigger than ourselves. This is undoubtedly what you'll find. It's very interesting to me. I'm a doctor. I'm sitting here in America, and we are in America, I would say, especially in medicine, primarily a materialist place now. We believe in atoms and molecules, and that's about it. And that is what leads us so often into our pharmaceutical paradigm, because that's what medicine is to us. We open up a broader perspective. We say medicine and life and health is bigger. We widen our perspective. We see people finding benefit from this practice beyond just the immediate medical effect. And this especially is clear to me in the emotional space. When we open up a fasting space, we're getting into a space of the mind, a space of the emotions that are stored in the body. And just like we can release energy out of that space, we get into an emotional space. The first space, tell me if this is something you encounter, it clearly is a hunger space. Hunger is something that it's like public enemy number one in America. Like, we got to extinguish hunger, and there's 1,001 companies that want to sell you a special product to do it. But hunger, I got the Hunger series on the channel. Check that out if you haven't seen it. Reframe hunger. And realize that in the big picture, hunger's a pretty neutral space, and I think we can be intimidated by it. We can be conditioned and told that something damaging is happening to the body. It can feel very unpleasant. It absolutely can. And many things in our discussions that I'm sharing you, there's two perspectives on it. I don't want anyone suffering under any circumstance. And people, especially if anyone is struggling with severe poverty, who doesn't actually have access to food, who is dealing with true hunger out of a place of significant lacking, okay? Significant compassion for that. And that's not fasting, okay? Fasting a voluntary place from a place of privilege where you have enough to eat and we can voluntarily decide not to, and we choose to lean into it. Choose to experience it, to recognize that some amount of adversity, the human system is built for it and actually thrives on it. And this is what we want. We want thriving in our body and total being. This is how we start breaking out of the cage. It can be a cage of many different types, and if you have felt like you're in a cage, stuck in a cycle trying to lose weight, okay, let's break out of it. And equally important to me, if you've felt stuck in a cage mentally, stuck in a rut in life, fasting, as we're looking into that space, a powerful practice to build strength in the mind as well as the body. These things are connected. We can talk about them separately, but it's the same thing. We want a strong body. We want a strong mind. We want a strong spirit now. A strong human spirit that is propelling us forward in the life that we want to be living. Listen to what Brianna Weist has to say about this. The mountain is you, and it is me. It is our collective struggle. She says, at our most instinctive physiological level, change translates into something dangerous, potentially life-threatening. No wonder we build our own cages and stay in them, even though there is no lock on the door. How does that sit with you today? I was reading this yesterday as I was thinking about how to move us forward, and that just hit me, just building our own cage. Have you ever felt like you've done that? Do you think you've done that? I was reflecting on that myself, and that's another one where it can kind of hurt, right? Say, have I built my own cage? Am I choosing to stay in it? Sometimes it can feel that way and sometimes not. And maybe there are two times for it, you know. Maybe there are there cages that we've been put in mentally? Is that society and culture and the way that we've been brought up? But I especially want to help us think about and decide, are there times and spaces where we have done it to ourselves through our decisions? And you can see it, what they're saying, change. Is this what we're looking for? Right? You say, I want to go on a weight loss journey. I want to have a path toward better health. Have to change to do it, right? Something has to change. Whether we're changing our diet, we're changing our exercise patterns, we're changing our thinking, changing when and how we are eating. We were saying yesterday, take things on the simplest level. Maybe we don't have to dive so deep if we aren't ready to do it. Okay, just from my little place, my perch in the cage, I'm not quite ready to break out. But can I get ready? I like to use the analogy walking along the river. We don't have to dive right in. We can just dip our toe in the water or gaze upon it for a while. Look at the river, all right? Building up our energy. This is a big paradox I'd love us to dive into, that fasting is a type of practice that can build up a type of energy. When we open up fasting space in the body, maybe we're just leaning into it. We're starting with a few minutes a day just to start dipping the toe in, having the concept, or maybe we've been working on it a while and we're opening up some more hours, okay? And we're opening up that space. That is building a strength in the body. A strength and a training of the body to use the energy that's there. And so from one perspective, you say we're releasing energy. This is physical energy that's been stored in the chemical bonds of fat cells, okay? We're breaking that open and releasing energy. But at the same time, everything in nature is a cycle. We're bringing in other kind of energy. I don't know. This is not the type of energy that we're going to define in a scientific process. Emotional energy. Have you felt that? Where it's like the energy is coming out of the body, but your total energy is increasing. You're just charging up. By leaning into a fasting practice, dialing in the amount that is just bringing joy into the body, that is bringing lightness and positivity, that is increasing the total energy, right? I think when you're feeling that, what's really happening, we were saying at the beginning, right? Metabolism is dynamic. If you've been stuck in a rut, fasting can kind of take the brakes off of that. You open up that space. I want you to feel that. Building up the energy. I like the idea of charging up, you know. If we're going to try to break out of some sort of cage, don't you got to charge up? I mean, it's going to be an event, right? Take some energy. Like I've got the little nebula that we're floating through. I did that session somewhere back there, weight loss supernova, which I loved the thought. Boom, you know. Explosion. Explode out of the cage. Fasting is the type of process that you can grow with and lean into. And I like the analogy turning a dial, because a dial can be turned very slowly. I suppose a dial can also be cranked up, you know, if the time is right for it. But a dial, to meet a threshold where it crosses over the phase change, where the water just heats up the last degree, starts to boil, right? And then it's a gas. It's breaking out of the pot, right? We did the analogy of the melting ice. 29, 30, 31, like we don't see anything much different happening in the room as it's heating up, but then at 32, and then the phase change and the transformation happens. How about the next level up? Water's boiling, it's like getting warmer, 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 and then all of a sudden, one more degree, 212, and boom, this is out of the pot. That's escaping the cage. That's the transformation. They don't, change to me. I say transformation is something we really seek. That's why I got in Peru, I got the little butterfly necklace. Butterfly is so beautiful, goes through a phase change, right? In the cocoon. That's a little cage that it built for itself. See, we can take cage and we can say, oh, this is negative, right? Think of what we were talking about yesterday. Bless the experience that broke you, because the world needs you open, right? Think of the caterpillars like broken in the cocoon that it built for itself. That's how we say, can we bless the experience? If we have had an experience where we felt stuck, say, I feel like I'm in a box or a cage, right? Is that actually like a cocoon, right? And look what happens. That butterfly just bursts out of it. You say, how do I do that? What is the process or the cycle? Help me do it, okay? Maybe it's just the simple steps to start the fasting process. So I normally eat 6 times a day. I'm going to go to 5. Okay? Simple step. Take out a snack. Maybe say take out the last one. Open up that space before bedtime. That's the most powerful one. You're just marching that process down. I was eating 6 to 5 and then 4 and then 3. That's like a core practice. Just eating 3 meals a day. Better than 6 if we're trying to create a negative energy balance, right? We're trying to create flow. Energy flow out of the body. Energy coming into the body. Energy flowing out of the body. Always in a cycle. Many times, you say, okay, a problem has developed. We could say weight is a problem. It's just a state in the body, okay? But we say we want it to come back into balance. We want more energy flowing out of the body than flowing in for a while. I'll bring it into balance. Very hard to create a cycle like that. If the energy is always flowing in, very hard to create a negative balance, if you see what I'm saying. 6 times a day, energy is coming in. Like really balancing the energy coming out pretty good, I say. But okay, now only 3 times. What if that worked? Would you say I'm not fasting, but I cut out snacking and everything's working for me? I say beautiful, nobody handing out any medals for doing any great amount of fasting. We're just trying to find a process that works for people so that you can have the effect that you want. I'll tell you the most powerful step, 3 to 2. That's where things really start to change in my experience, in many people's experience. You move 3 to 2, powerful change. And then we just got 2 steps left. In the whole spectrum of fasting, like we can dial all the way in. This is what people would say. You go online, people say, oh, fasting is 16-8, or fasting is OMAD, or fasting is, just to fast for a day, or head into advanced fasting practices, fasting for multiple days. To me, simple fasting, what I try to talk about, it's actually a whole spectrum. We can dial in right to the spot that feels good. Never past it, recognizing that line where it's like, oh, we can challenge ourselves. We can realize that pushing through some amount of discomfort actually is a human challenge that can bring us into a really powerful place. But always finding that line, always so the mental health is better. You do something challenging, isn't the mental health better? Like if you were exercising in something and you're trying to lift a heavy weight or you're trying to do something, say it's difficult, but don't you also feel good? See, like you give energy into a situation and then also the energy is coming back. That's the type of reciprocity that you want in a fasting space. Giving the energy and receiving it back. That's fasting as openness. It's not fasting as a restriction in any process of bringing joy and energy into a space. Find that line. Here's a powerful step, 2 to 1. All right? Look at the space we're operating with. We dialed 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Are we getting what we want? Where is it? Maybe you've practiced that for some amount of time, 2, and you say, it's just not quite, it's okay, I can do it, but I'm not quite getting to the place. Look, 2 to 1. Now we're cranking up. Real power. Eat a delicious, healthy, satisfying meal. And float through that till a meal the next day. It's incredible. So many people do something like that. Just realize, That's why in the future, we have people coming in, a big community. There's many people here that come through on the sessions. Do something like that. I have for seasons in my life. Spent months doing that. And in my experience, mixed with tons of exercise, I lost all the weight I wanted to lose doing that. I do it from time to time now. My personal practice, I did lots of fasting about 10 years ago when I I had gained a lot of weight during my residency training, and I didn't know how to get rid of it. And I discovered fasting, and I started practicing it. And each level, each time I turn that dial, it's a challenge, a challenge. And then you get used to it, body strengthens, mind strengthens. So I feel a little ready to dial in on some more power on this, understand it, built out the process. And now I'm at a point, I'm feeling strong, feeling lean, I'm in a good space. Now I dial it back. I do less fasting now than probably any point in the last 10 years because I do not want to lose any weight. Now I do it for other reasons, just because it feels good. I do it as a cleansing process. I do it because I'm impressed by the data and the potential of helping to minimize the chance of developing neurologic diseases and cancer, and I don't want diabetes like anybody else. It's a little maintenance mode. A lot of times, some days I do 3 meals, some days 2. I kind of will alternate on some of that. And then every month I do some OMAD. I do a fasting day, okay? Just because it feels joyful and cleansing and positive. It's I want everybody to get to that sort of space. Say, I've lost all the weight I ever want, and now we can just lean into this to the extent that joy is present in it, and that health is overflowing and flourishing from it. That's a journey. For me, it's been now we're flying out past a decade on it. No lock on the door on the cage. I love that. I thought this section was kind of related, and I wanted to share this with you also. The cultural obsession with chasing happiness. Remember, we did the session the other month, chasing peace. Different mindset. But here we're chasing happiness, especially temporary happiness, shielding ourselves from anything triggering. The idea that any challenge we face is a mistake of fate can actually make us mentally weak. Challenge makes us strong. This thing. So fasting, when voluntarily chosen to abstain from food, to break out of any cycle, right, is showing us the pattern how to break out any other cycle, right? We're stuck in one thing, let's break out of something else. If we are stuck in one rut, fasting showing us the pattern, we can change. Here's something, I loved the analogy, I think it was Jen in the fall said, it was like, we're having trouble in one area, they'll rearrange the furniture in the house, just create a new pattern, break out of any cycle. I love that. It's like, oh, things are new, things can change. Change in any area, giving us the opportunity to be new somewhere else. Fasting can be part of that. Say, we're stuck in some area, maybe it's at work, maybe it's with a relationship, okay, maybe it's whatever it is, right? Fasting space, so often we say there's things that we can control, things we can't. Many times we hear the advice, how do you do it? Focus on the things that we can control. Maybe we're bringing it down to a very fundamental level. Hey, right now my life feels out of control, but you know what I can control? I can control how many times I'm eating in a day. Here's something powerful we can change when we realize the potential of it. Oh, fasting has real power. It's so simple, it's so overlooked. But hey, I can lean into this. Here's a challenge I can control right here. Open up some fasting space. Give my body a gift. Feel the mental energy. Marie says, fasting bringing more mental energy. Absolutely. Maybe that's the gift, the spark that you need to make change somewhere else. I made a change here. I opened up some fasting space. Now we got some more mental energy to tackle the other challenge, right? This is using fasting as a tool to break out in any direction we need. Because it is connected, physical body, physical mind, mental mind, however that works, We are using these practices together to push forward. They say here, shielding the mind from any adversity makes us more vulnerable to anxiety, panic, and chaos. Never any adversity leads to fragility. Do you see that? I like the phrase iron sharpens iron, right? This is used a lot. If people are having debate, someone saying don't shy away from having a hard conversation. Iron sharpens iron. People have a disagreement. Let's steel man each argument and really hash it out, right? But that sort of mindset, right? That the adversity is sharpening the sword, all of the wellness practices, difficult in their own regard. It's difficult, especially in this day and age, to find healthy food and put it into our body. But that adversity, going through it, doing it, brings strength and health to the body. It's difficult to practice fasting, especially in a culture that glorifies continuous consumption, all right? But to lean into the adversity and to do it brings strength and health to the metabolism, body, and mind. It's difficult to practice meditation. That may be the most difficult of all, to actually bring stillness and quiet to the mind. See, there is adversity to do that. You face a big challenge to do that. But just like opening up a fasting space, healthy for the body, brings strength, power to it. Opening up a meditation space in the mind is the same pattern. We're going to voluntarily say no to something that might feel good in the short term. You say, I would like to eat something now, but I'm going to accept this adversity to give my body the ability to clean out the system. Well, how about cleaning out the mind? I'm going to put the phone down. I'm going to shut off the notifications and the distractions, maybe even the lights and the sound. The body's going to feel a little withdrawal if you're not used to that. I've been very intentionally working on a meditation practice for multiple years now. It's better than it was, but sometimes it can still be a challenge. I get a little oh man, gotta move, gotta do anything. But then it's giving you the opportunity to practice the beautiful practices like the breathing, right? Just connecting us, deeply grounding us in the body. I find in a meditation space, you can start to realize on a more profound level that the body and the mind are the same. When the mind is anxious in that space and there's nothing for it to hang on to that we're used to, so that we can be okay sitting with our own self. You say, what am I supposed to do here? You can just feel kind of mentally naked, where is something to hang on to here? Take a deep breath. And you can feel focus on the breath. This is actually big meditation practices. One of the big meditations that I will use is to just find one point in the cycle. Okay, breath is coming in and breath is going out. Find one point in the cycle. The point I take, right, there's a point, if you're seeing the breath as a loop, there's a point where you fully breathed in, but you haven't started breathing out yet. It's like we jumped on the trampoline, and then we're coming back down. Right at that highest point is this interesting space. It's like we're jumping on the trampoline, and for a moment we're weightless. For a moment we're out of gravity. For a moment we're flying. To me, that's the most peaceful space. And I will get in a loop where I'll just observe the breathing. The breathing just happens, right? Breathing can feel we have to do it, and we can control it. And I have shared on the channel a lot that I like box breathing, which is a very, controlled, intentional breathing. Maybe we're doing 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold. That's very controlled. And then doing the counting can help break cycles in the mind. Okay, so that's a type of breathing. A breathing meditation like I'm describing now is totally different. It's just observing the breath. It's not trying to breathe in any specific calming way. It's just observing the loop and finding that point where we breathe in You could pick the bottom point, you can pick anywhere else. But to me, I wait till we get to that weightless, floating place, and then I just observe that point. And I say, oh, there it is again. And there it is again. And I find when I'm feeling very anxious and I'm having trouble in a meditation space, and you realize the breath is happening, time is carrying on, is getting you into the body. And you realize, oh, body and the mind is the same. When the body is working, then the mind is becoming calm. That sort of practice, that sort of space is actually very powerful. It's very simple. You say, well, how powerful can that be? But when you realize that sort of practice has the ability to calm an anxious mind, so that we can actually sit in a space where we can process things, just like the fasting space is allowing us to process energy in the body, burn through dysfunctional proteins, recycle them into something new. Same process can happen in the mind. Dysfunctional thoughts, burn them up, refashion them into something new. I love that quote from yesterday. Say, bless the thing that broke you, right? Very advanced, I say thought. Aspirational in many cases. How do you do that? This is what we are describing is the type of space that can get us to that place. Here's a challenging sentence. Say, those who can't help but create problems in their minds. It's like, ouch, do you do that? I know I have created many problems in my mind. Often do so because they have ceased creative control of their existence. I extra underline this because I've done these sessions where reading through the creative act, talking about Rick Rubin's beautiful book. For artists, that we are artists and we are creators of our existence is a big thing I want to communicate on this experience. This is part of breaking out of the cage, breaking out of the box, thinking out of the box. That in many cases, like this other part said, we have painted ourselves into this box, but we are the artist and we can paint ourselves back out. Do you think of yourself that way? As a creator of your existence, that the decisions we make are creating our environment, our experience, our situation. See, many people move into the passenger seat of their own life and think that life is simply happening to them, rather than being a product of their actions. That's the challenge, and that's the opportunity, right? Not to be a passenger in our own life. Get in the driver's seat and start steering. Steering the ship, however you want to think about it. Driving to a different destination. It means making different decisions. It's like, what's the map, Like, look at the map. Here's where we're going. Say, I want to go this way. We're walking through today the fasting space, the meditation space, the opening space of so many kinds. Gives us the opportunity to change. When we are stuck in a cycle, especially metabolically, this is the big thing we're trying to do. Metabolically, we say we're stuck. Number on the scale is not changing. It's changing in the wrong direction, right? We got to find, you say, I want to find a space. This is what I'm doing. I am looking for a space where we can change that. Welcome to fasting space. That's what I say. This is the space where you can really change it. I never tell anybody it's easy. If everything about it were easy, they'd say there'd be no challenge, well, anybody could do it. Anybody can do it, but there's a barrier to entry to it. I mean, there just is. We were talking through it. Hunger is the very first, probably the most powerful barrier to entry. But hunger sitting yesterday, I love that session we're getting in there to do that. There's multiple types of hunger, right? And we've got physical hungers, like really a mental experience. And then we've got mental hunger things that we desire that can then manifest as physical hunger. If we are not meeting our basic needs, the core things that we have for community and connection and breath and space to process, the hunger for those things can flow out through physical hunger, and then this can drive us in a cycle. So both of these spaces come together into a very powerful space where we can reflect, and as part of the need that we have a need for reflection. The mind has a need to process trauma and struggle, stress. And you can know this even scientifically, because when we give the space to do that, when we breathe, when we process, when we stop, we can see hormonal and physical changes in the body. We were talking, like, okay, just looking at the cortisol, right? We got stress hormones. We did the session on inflammation, one of my favorite ones, back in the fall, where I walked through the biochemical pathways, and we tracked out from the mind flowing through the body, communication pathways to every cell in the body, communicating chronic stress, just flipping us into a state where it's telling the body chronically, you are not okay. The body thinks a war is going on. Inflammation is being released because inflammation is how the body fights things. We end up fighting ourselves. This is how we end up creating autoimmune disease in the body. Just wild. So I want to unwind that. Say, put the guns down, we're telling the immune system. Stop the war with ourselves. Find a state of peace and contentment. These are the spaces to do it. Open space in body and mind. So powerful. Just want to share with people the incredible opportunity to get into a space like that, where actual health and healing is possible, where change is possible, where we're living one kind of life, now we're living a different life, where one way of being had the manifestation of disease and one does not. I feel like that's the type of thing that we should be talking more about in medicine, and in culture and society. And I think we are in certain places. I think the conversation is moving that way. I think people are tired of saying just every solution has to be paying money to a company to make a pill to force something in a direction, It's like, really? Sometimes that's beautiful. Sometimes that's the right thing to do. But in the big picture, it's like, look, we're flying through space. Let's zoom out a little bit, and just see. Just 2 generations ago, people not suffering so much with so much of this. We didn't have any of this paradigm. Why, We have the curiosity, why are things the way they are? Like, well, our way of being is different. And that way of being has changed in ways that are not serving us. So we can be different, can change. There's a quote I love, Wendell Berry says, when going back makes sense, then you're moving forward. I'm all for progress, and certain things, of course, are incredible with technology allowing us to connect in this way. Couldn't do that in, 1850 or whatever, okay? So we take the good that we have from everything, but we look and we say, okay, what was working in the past, many difficulties. What was working in the past, metabolically, not constant consumption, eating natural foods that come from the earth in a natural way, not genetically modified and full of chemicals and plastic, okay? Say, remove the synthetic food. Maybe that's the most important thing. Fasting from processed food. There you go. I say maybe that's even the first choice, even before we start turning the dial on that fasting space, actually. Say, let's just strip out fake food. Don't need it. That's a cage to break out of. It can be very hard. How about not scientifically programmed food that is designed to keep us stuck in a cycle of consumption? How about natural food that the earth has been feeding and providing to people for as long as there have been people? That is a cage and a paradigm to really flip. Break out of the cage. Do some thinking about it today. What is the cage that you are in that you are wanting to move out of? Do some thinking about it. I'm going to do some thinking about it in my own personal self. Let's have an ongoing discussion. Come back to this video. Throw comments in. They'll come to me. We have an ongoing discussion. If you're here on the replay, really nice to have you here too. Throw your thoughts about these things into the comments. Love to have a chat with you about it. Love to have a chat with you about any type of health and wellness thing. Are there topics that you would like to see us cover? I would love to have this space be even a bigger dialogue where we can go back and forth. I've got a stack of books and thinking that are I am excited to share, and I'm going to keep walking through it. What ideas and thoughts do you have? Let's have an ongoing conversation together. I hope you have a beautiful day. Look forward to connecting with you again soon.